Oh! The relationships we were like this close to breaking up over there. We are back. Right, this is obviously my first video back home. I'm going over to train push with David Massey here in a sec. I'll try to get a few clips from that. But later on in the video, I'm sure it's one of the reasons you clicked on the video, is I will give all of my reasons why I left Australia and why I decided to come home. But as of now, I'm about to take the fattest scoop of pre-workout in my life. If you watched my video when I was over in Australia, I mentioned as soon as I got home, I would get the Total War pre-workout, and that is exactly what I've done. I'm actually fairly excited. It's fucking sad, so I'm excited to take a scoop of pre-workout, but we're gonna see anyways. This is going to slap. Oh! Tell you one thing, like, now that literally tastes nice. Like most pre-workouts have like a, as soon as you drink them, it's kind of like a sour taste. What's this one? Is it strawberry mango I got? Yeah, strawberry mango flavour, Total War. That's it there. Honestly, it's unreal. And you best believe it's loaded in caffeine as well. I'm just gonna walk over to the gym now. Now to be honest, I've never recorded in a gym, like a vlog style in Ireland. So I don't know what it's gonna be like. I don't even know if we're allowed to record in the gym, but we're gonna find out anyways. I'll catch you in a sec. Right, just here now, starting off on single arm lateral raise. I hope that speaker isn't overriding everything I say, but I'll try most I can. So it's gonna be mainly shoulders we're gonna do, mixing a bit of chest and arms as well. But yeah, you're good.
Over the edge, feel like I'm floating through the air. The pain I felt is paid for, all is said and done. Oh, I am restricted, fixed upon the web. I need to kick the habit that my mind is breathing in. Break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it innocent, a feel of discontent. I'm finally facing it all, fearless. Burning the bridge that keeps us. I'm here and I'm feeling fearless. Exaggerated, that's what you assume. The story's over now, I must conclude. I am conflicted, watching where I step still, hanging in the balance. Not the life I want to live, I want to take it all. Standing tall, fear I weighed the person you are. Oh, break out, I've got to see. Spent all my life holding all of it closely. I played it.
Lads, typical antics. I'm just back from the gym now. My SD card was full halfway through the session, and his camera also died halfway through the session. So we did get a few bits on the phone. So we'll put like a quick training edit together. Not ideal, of course, but we still got a few bits done. We also had a nice little chat about how we're going to go about recording all of my short form content as well. David Massey is the person who records all of my reels. Any of the content you would have seen before I left Ireland to go to Australia, he is the person behind the camera. If you are looking for any of that kind of content, he is the man to go to. Just to finish my post-workout meal, I have my 250 grams of chicken, 250 grams of potatoes. I'm going to go up now to the shower. I'm also going to do a bit of posing. I hope to God YouTube does not ban me for this. I probably do it in shorts actually, yeah. I'll do it in my shorts, do a bit of practice. I practice in this now most days, just trying to get, now I'm a long way out, but me being me, I just like to be well prepared. So I'll keep going with the practice and be as best as possible. Catch you in a bit. Well. I won't lie, this isn't later in the day, this is a full day later. I ended up coming out to Caitlin's house yesterday and everything just kind of got a hold of me, so I didn't end up finishing the vlog yesterday, but I'm going to finish it here now today, and as promised, we will talk about all the reasons why we came home from Australia. Did we like it, did we not, and yeah, everything behind that. I think it's only fair that Caitlin's in this video as well, to give all of her reasons, because we did go over as a couple, and it was our thing, not just me. So we'll get her into this video as well. So catch you in a sec. Right, I'm hoping this mic will actually hear the both of us. It's usually quite good anyway, so hopefully it will. Why did we come up from Australia? Want to tell me? Caitlin isn't new to the camera yet, so give her a minute. I'll give you my reason. Obviously there is many layers to why we came home, but if we start from the beginning, in all fairness, like as I said, we went over as a couple, and one of the agreements we actually made was if one of us didn't enjoy it, that we'd both come home, which is only fair. It's obviously a big thing going across the other side of the world when it's your first time moving out. So I think it was only fair we made that agreement, and it didn't take Caitlin too long to realise that she didn't like it.
It took me a day. One day.
Why, like?
It was shit.
In what way? Explain.
Everything.
Obviously.
It was raining all the time.
Right, so I'll tell you in simple English. As I said, there's many reasons, but one of the main things for us was going over as a couple. I think if anyone's watching this and they're thinking of going as a couple, I would recommend going travelling for a bit first. One of the mistakes we made is we landed in the country and then like 2 weeks later we were both working in the same job. So we went to Australia, but we didn't see Australia. We seen like a tiny fraction, I mean the tiniest bit. So if someone asked me what's Australia like, I realistically couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you to the best of my ability because I didn't see much. Big thing for me as well is routine. The job we were both working in traffic control, and it was like a casual role. So for example, I would think I'm working tomorrow, and then at 6 p.m. in the evening I'd be like, no Cian, you're removed from the job. Or vice versa, I would think I'm off tomorrow, I would try plan ahead for my next day, and then all of a sudden I'm assigned to a job that's 3 hours away and it's fucking at 6 a.m. in the morning. So my actual planning life is completely out the window. Do you think about that?
Yeah, it's just like horrible, and then like people think the pay is so good, but you have to travel and you're not getting paid for it, and you have to set up site and you're not getting paid for it, and you could think, oh great, I have an 8-hour day, but it end up only being like 15 minutes of a job, literally one crane lift, and then yeah, it's just there's a lot of uncertainty around it, and then obviously when you're living out and you have to pay rent, pay for your groceries, you just don't know how much income you're going to have. So like you could literally have a week where you're getting $200 in your wages and you just can't live on that. Like obviously our rent was what, $380. We were living with my brother, so that was halved. So like it was $380, our half was that. So like obviously we couldn't live off that. It was just a lot of uncertainty, and we're not people that like uncertainty.
Now again, that is our experience. Like it's not like if everyone else goes over, that's what you'll experience. It's just what we ended up doing didn't exactly suit us, and both the lives we tried to live, obviously we're both into the gym, and again, this might just be our experience as I said, but the majority of people we were around, let's just say, they weren't into the same life as us around our age. Again, we're in the gym, a lot of people that we talked to were like party, drinking and drugs. Again, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into, but that's obviously not our vibe. So like we'd work a full week, it'd come to the weekend and like, right, what do we do? And then anyone who we want to go out with wouldn't have been the people we'd hang around with, if that makes sense. So obviously that was a big factor. But then you were there a total of 3 months, I was there 4. So what actually happened with that was Caitlin, obviously, as we said, realised she didn't like it fairly soon, and we both agreed we'd go home if we didn't like it. But Caitlin thought halfway through, or when she did go home, that she was only supposed to go home for like a 2 weeks. Did you actually think of coming back, or what?
Oh yeah, I was coming back, but I said it was going to be 3 weeks, if not a month. I knew I wasn't coming back after 2 weeks. I was going to be, 3 weeks would be nice.
Yeah, so like Caitlin was going to go home and see if she liked home or preferred home. Obviously she missed her mum, missed family, and she wanted to go back home and just see that she wasn't missing much, essentially. that was the kind of thought process behind it. Obviously, then when she was there, I wanted to go home as well. Part of me wanted to come, of course. I missed home, and it was hard for me to see her going away, and then me still being there when I wanted to go home as well. So when she went, I was like, oh yeah, this is class. I'm here now by myself, and she gets to go home. But yeah, like while she was at home, I realized, okay, like all of the opportunities that I have, which I'm going to get into in a sec, it does make a lot more sense for me to go home. Caitlin had booked a flexi ticket. Did you get the money back for that?
Yeah, I got $900.
Yeah, so she got the money back for her flight anyways. Well, not all of it, because she had a flexi ticket, so it wasn't the worst case. But we both both mutually agreed when she was at home that I'd come home too, and we both stay at home. Into the reason that being obviously quality of life, where we initially thought going over to Australia would be a lot better over there with the sun and all that. But since we've came home and back into our normal life and routine, you realise that home can really never be beaten. I'm a big routine person, and for me having that back is absolutely essential. I'm back training now, I have my diet in check, everything is going well. And only in the past few days I have agreed with my own coach that we will look to compete at the end of next year, which is a big thing for me. And if I'm competing, I need to be in my set routine, and nothing will take me away from that. And if I was in that kind of scenario where I don't know if I'm working tomorrow, can I train with my diet being checked, it's just not going to work. Like if I'm going to compete, I'm not there to compete. I'm thinking like I'm going to win. I have to, so I can't have that I don't know what I'm doing type of life. So yeah, and then with my coaching as well, I'm obviously trying to grow my coach business with even my clients. Know if any of you are watching this, that like I felt like my quality of service dropped when I was over there, just because, as I said, I'm working long hours, and then you would text me, it would be like 3 a.m. in the morning, I'm not responding to the next day, and then I wouldn't be able to text you till like 10 hours later, and I felt like my quality of service dropped heavily when I was over there. The content I was pumping out heavily dropped when I was over there. Obviously, I'm not used to recording content by myself because I have David Massey who recorded content for me here. But when I was over there, I was trying to record myself. What?
I recorded for you.
When? Oh, to be fair, Caitlin did record for me.
He had me up in the middle of the night recording for him.
Caitlin did, to be fair, my bad. Caitlin did record for me sometimes when I was there. But for the few weeks you weren't there, and I was there by myself. I was recording fucking all the time by myself. But yeah, look, Caitlin isn't a videographer, neither am I. So having an actual professional videographer who can do it makes my life a lot easier. Back there, don't take, for anyone who's looking to go, don't take our experience as the be all and end all. Like, if you go over, you could have a completely different scenario to us. The type of job you get, where you live, the weather, the people you know might be completely different. You would surely agree with that, like, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I definitely recommend everyone to go and try it. I wouldn't like deter anyone off it, but just know that it isn't what everyone makes it out to be. And I've heard a lot more people saying, a lot more people are coming home basically. Drinking is gone massive over there, so don't expect to be going over there and getting up every morning and going for your runs. Of course, you can do that, but it's not what everyone is into over there. It's not as big of a fitness culture as people make it out to be and what you see on TikTok and Instagram. Yeah. So just remember that, but again, I would tell everyone go experience it if that's what they want to do.
Yeah, exactly. The only way you'll actually find out is to go yourself. Of course, I can tell you what I thought of it. Your mother can tell you, your sister can tell you, but you won't actually know for yourself until you go experience it yourself. One of the biggest things as well people talk about moving over to Australia from Ireland or UK or anywhere else really is they think it's extremely expensive. But like in our case, it kind of works out the same, just some things are more expensive and other things are cheaper. Like our shopping for the two of us was coming to like $200 roughly a week, so about €120 a week between the two of us, which to be fair like is a nice bit of food for what that would cover up. That was me now in a bulk as well, so keep that in mind. That's a lot of food. So yeah, it kind of works out relatively the same. Then when you compare, petrol was cheaper relatively, wasn't it?
Yeah, I'd fill my tank for like $100, so about €60. Yeah,
petrol was cheaper, and then the actual cost of cars, I noticed straight away, it was a lot cheaper. Like in Ireland, if you buy a car for under 10 grand, it's missing the engine or something, or the wheel is gone. Where we bought, it was a BMW 320, and it was $5,500. Now again, of course, that was second hand and it had high mileage. But I would not dream of buying a car for that price back in Ireland. Not a hope.
That was like €3,000.
Yeah,
Bear in
exactly.
mind.
That like, again, as I said, second-hand car, but you're not buying that back in Ireland. It's missing. There's something extremely wrong with it for that price. If you're thinking about going, definitely go experience it yourself. I don't want to leave this off as like a negative thing because that's just our experience and the opportunities we had and I had to come back to. I couldn't miss. Caitlin obviously missed family, wanted to come home, and as I said, we both agreed if one of us didn't like it, we'd both come home. Ended up being the case where neither of us liked it anyway.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say it was just a family thing. Of course, yeah, I miss family, but I actually missed Ireland. There's just no culture over in Australia. I found there was no culture.
Big claim. And
Sorry.
to be fair, both of us as a relationship, so we were like this close to breaking up over there, which wasn't ideal. And to actually nearly save our relationship, coming home did make a lot of sense. But like, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It was on the rocks. But I think a lot of that was because I was very stressed and Cian was just not happy where he was. So it was just, and of course when you're in the situation it's very difficult to see that. Like the reasons why you're kind of constantly arguing and things like that. But yeah, coming home was definitely the right choice for us anyways.
Yeah, like when you look back now, when I think of it now, looking back, you realise why a lot of shit was the way it was. Obviously, Caitlin just missing home and not being herself. Also, you notice straight away with Caitlin when she over there, she did kind of fall out of love with gym, and that wasn't just because of the culture over there. It's just because she didn't enjoy it, and when you're not happy in yourself, your own hobby start to take a slip, and that's the complete same with myself as well. So when she isn't enjoying her gym, obviously her overall happiness in herself to drop, and then that would affect our relationship, and then I'm not in my nice routine where I get stressed out. Okay, well, no, if I don't have things in order, in a particular order, it stresses me out, and then both of us clash. We're both working the same job with the same hours, seeing each other all day, every day. Anyone who's in a relationship would know that ain't gonna work. Now we could have just got a separate job, so if anyone else is going over, I obviously depends on your typical scenario, but I would maybe recommend getting a separate job, not doing the exact same thing every hour of the day.
You also have the stress of like a visa. Like constantly, oh, do I have my days done? Am I going to have my days done in time? And like, there's just a lot of stress that comes with moving away. Of course, you have your bills to pay for, but it's not even just that. It's the stress of a visa. The stress of what am I missing out on at home? Who am I missing out on, like, growing up? Things like that, like, but mainly the stress of a visa is, like, tough.
Yeah, but it's when you're there as well, like, so on the visa we had coming from Ireland, you have to do 88 working days, alright? But there's this kind of misconception, we don't know if that's 88 8-hour working days or just 88 days flat.
Yeah.
So, like, we did think it was 8-hour working days, but the job we were working, we weren't always guaranteed an 8-hour day. So, for example, I could go in tomorrow and it would have been a 4-hour day. And it was looking like the 88 days was going to take me the bones of 6 months to complete.
Yeah.
And then, as I said, with unhappy we were and how shit everything was with my routine and all, imagine I had waited all of those months, how shit my life would have been. And then the only reason you do those 88 days is so the following year you can come back in the country again. But then that regional work goes from 88 days to 6 months. And if 88 days was taking me 6 months to complete, imagine what 6 months would actually take me.
Yeah, you've a lot of people saying, oh, just get through your days and then get a better job, blah, blah, blah. But like that, you'll only end up with like a 3-month period where you can be in a different job before you have to start your regional work again.
Yeah.
So like, that's absolutely horrible. And then you have to do a full year of regional work nearly to get your 6 months. That's in traffic control. Like, my brother's in doing carpentry and like he'd get his 6 months done in 6 months. But just if you have a trade, it's great when you're going over, but if you don't have a trade,
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah, if you're going over as a trader, you have a lot of money to be made. In our case, we were just going over to explore, like, and just get away from Ireland, as every other 21, 22-year-old wants to do. I think I'd be confident in saying there's more Irish in Australia than there is in Ireland at this rate, particularly over the west side of Australia, in Melbourne and all. We were actually in the east side, so we were in Sunshine Coast, and in the area we were in, it's called Budrum, or Badrum, as I say. But that area was a lot of like the older generation, so like,
Pensioners, like.
and then as I said, like so our closest neighbours were all older, and then the people we worked with weren't particularly, now to be fair, some of them were sound, I did get on with like some of them, but a lot of them just weren't our vibe as such.
They're very petty.
Do you know, like, typical Irish culture where you slag someone and then they slag you back and it's just normal communication, like, whereas I would say something, just messing, and then someone would look at me almost like they got offended. I'm like, I didn't really understand the vibe. I don't know. I
Yeah,
I
we just
communicate
had
with people
weird
like
vibes.
that. Yeah. I don't know. Again, that's just us though. We're also Irish coming over to someone else's culture, so that's something
Yeah.
we'd have to adapt and get used to.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I won't rant on too much. This is just our experience. Again, I'm looking to compete next year. I need my routine. Caitlin wasn't happy over there. We both agreed that we'd come home if one of us didn't like it, and our relationship was a millimeter away from ending if we didn't sort something out. So yeah, we came home. We're back to normal now. Thankfully, routine is back in set. Back in the gym. We're both back in the gym, and yeah, life is back on the incline. Thank God.